Welcome to the Inspired Impact Podcast, where dedicated female professionals share how they inspire impact every day. Authentic stories, passionate commitment, lives transformed. I'm your host, Judy Carlson. Welcome to today's episode of the Inspired Impact Podcast. Today we are speaking with a woman who has a huge heart for placing assistance dogs with people who have varying disabilities. She's currently the executive director of Sunrise Service Dogs. I'm excited to welcome Laura Edwards to the podcast.
Hi, Judy. Thanks so much for having me on today. I get to talk about my favorite subject with you, and I'm really excited about it.
Well, let's dive in. I want to hear it from the beginning. Tell me what it's been going on.
Yes, I'm happy to. So, as we were just preparing for our chat today, you asked, how did you get here? So let's go from there. Absolutely. So I got here in a wonderful way, to be honest with you. We actually built our family in the very beginning by our son joining our family through domestic adoption. And we did not at the time know what things he might be bringing with him as a little guy. He came from some not so fabulous circumstances with his birth family. But he was our guy, so we were ready to take it on and deal with it however we needed to as a family. And fast forward a few years, we figured out what that stuff was.
Really?
And our little guy was diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum.
Oh, wow.
And so as a family who was putting in place interventions with occupational therapies, physical therapies, whatever we could do to help our little guy, we just happened to be watching a special on the PBS station here in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And they were featuring a prison trained program for dogs in California that was training these very special dogs for kiddos on the spectrum. And they weren't service dogs with public access, because obviously if you're incarcerated, you don't have access to the world at large. Mm-hmm. But they were doing a fabulous job at teaching these dogs some things that they could do to help out the kiddos and the families in the home. And we just thought, oh my gosh, maybe this is such an amazing opportunity for our son and our family.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing some research. I started volunteering at Freedom Service Dogs here in Denver.
Okay.
And I started learning absolutely everything I could about service dogs and calling service dog organizations to see if we could get a service dog for our son.
Mm-hmm.
And right away, I was met with some answers of, we can't help you until your child is 12 or 13 years of age.
Mm.
Or, yes, I can help you, but it's going to cost you $25,000 to $50,000 to get a service dog trained for your son. And gosh, that was just so out of reach. And he was 4 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought it would be such a shame to lose the advantage that we had of time to provide our son with this amazing intervention that could change his life. We didn't want him to have to wait till he was 12 or 13 years of age. So again, I started volunteering at Freedom and learning everything I could.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, we adopted a beautiful yellow Labrador retriever from the Colorado Prison Trained Companion Program. And his name was Disco. And because of what I was learning as a volunteer, I learned how to do that dog's task work and public access work. And he became my son's service dog, and his name was Disco.
Wow.
And as a result of our experience on the other side of it, I just felt really drawn and called to help other people accomplish the same thing that we had just accomplished.
Wow.
There had to be thousands of families out there who needed something very similar to what we were doing. So we founded my first nonprofit, Disco's Dogs. And in the 5 years that we were in operation, we assisted 66 families. Wow. With training their family's dog, or I would go out and acquire a dog for them to train to be their child's service dog.
Wow.
Fast forward, we merged our organization with Freedom Service Dogs. And I was there for a time as their director of dog operations. And I'm so immensely proud of the work that I was able to do there. It was such a fantastic opportunity. They're also a lovely organization, but as fate would have it, other opportunities find themselves headed your way.
Sure.
And I am now with Sunrise Service Dogs, and we are in Colorado Springs, but we have people that we're serving all along the Front Range, all the way up from Louisville, all the way down to Pueblo currently. And we're getting ready to do our very first out of state placement, which is very exciting. I joined in 2022, and the list keeps growing of people who are coming to us, needing us. And I just want to categorically state that there are there's such a need for service dogs. And even though there's organizations in Colorado who are dedicated to doing this, none of us can do it alone.
Right.
None of us can. And it's an immense need. I currently have received over 150 applications in 2025 alone
Wow.
for the number of people who are reaching out to us for help. I believe that A, the need is great, but also B, we're doing things a little bit differently. We do, on occasion, have the ability to raise a puppy to adulthood to place with another individual, but it's completely limited on our ability to have volunteer puppy raisers. People
Oh.
who so lovingly dedicate their time to come to our training classes 3 Saturdays a week to train a puppy on behalf of another individual. It's the ultimate give, because you're asking someone to love and adore this puppy from 8 weeks on all the way up till about 18 months of age, and then hand the leash over, pass the leash to someone who needs that life-changing animal. So it's a heavy lift, but incredibly rewarding at graduation when you get to see and follow the dog that you have raised and the impact that they're making in the life of someone else and their family. It's immensely rewarding. So we do on occasion have the ability to do that. Again, it is limited by the number of volunteers that we have available to do that. And on occasion, we will have a volunteer, but then they'll get their own dog, and they're no longer to help out anymore. That does happen. But we definitely could use many puppy raisers who are willing to engage with us in this meaningful way. The other program that we have is we know that there are long wait lists at our organization partners in the state and across the United States who are really struggling with finding those puppy raisers. But we listened to our community and we heard their pleas. And so we have developed a Puppy Academy partner train program where I will place one of my purpose bred Labrador Retriever puppies at 8 weeks of age with an individual who has a disability, and we will help them train that puppy for the next year and a half, 2 years, so that the puppy that they're raising will become their service dog.
Oh, wow.
It's very unique
Yeah.
here in Colorado, and it's incredibly rewarding as we get to know every single one of our students very closely. We love watching their triumphs, but I'm going to say it's not easy, right? Raising a puppy is very difficult. And if you also have some limitations because of your disability, that adds another layer to the difficulty of it. So it's not right for everyone. You have to have the physical ability or have a close family friend who has or a family member who has the physical ability to raise the puppy on your behalf. But we'll help you do that if that's something that you want to do. And we also know that individuals with a disability, I don't know if you know what the rates are right now if you're living on disability, but it's between $800 and $900 a month. That would make something like paying for a service dog entirely out of reach.
Sure.
So we actually give you the puppy for free. We give you the training for free.
Oh, wow.
And we ask you to cover their food and vet costs while you're raising them. So it's a little bit of sweat equity, a little bit of skin in the game.
Right.
But also professionals are here to support you and help you do that. And we train with our students 3 Saturdays every month for the period of their training. So we're as dedicated as they are. We also have a Bridge Academy program where if you already own your dog and there's already a bond and a relationship there, and you think, gosh, maybe my dog has the stuff to make it happen, there are some evaluations that we can put your dog through. We have a Bridge Academy boot camp where you could take 12 weeks of classes to see if your dog is ready for this type of commitment. And then we will admit you into our Bridge Academy program. We'll help you train your own dog to become your service dog as well. Again, trying to meet the needs of the people who are coming to us asking for help. And what we do is at no cost to the
Wow.
individual who's receiving the dog.
How in the world do you handle all of the costs associated with everything you need then, Laura?
Well, we're so fortunate that there are some lovely individuals who do believe in our mission and give so generously. And we are getting to the point now where we're growing and the need is great, which also means that our need for funding is
Sure.
great as well.
Wow.
To continue to meet the needs of our clients and the growing community who needs us, we need more people on our side to help us fuel our mission.
So, with these three different opportunities, which one is still the most utilized?
Our Puppy Academy is the most utilized of all
Okay.
of the programs. I believe that it's because a lot of people are really looking to start that relationship
Mm-hmm.
with their future service dog from
Mm-hmm.
the very beginning. And this is one way that people can engage and do it. Now, one thing that's also interesting to know about the people who are coming to us is, in case you didn't know, by virtue of the Americans with Disability Act, in order to have a public service access dog, you need to have a verifiable disability. And we verify that through various means during our application process. But that means that every single person in our program has some type or level of disability. So we have veterans who have PTSD. We have veterans who have mobility issues. We have civilians with mobility issues. 50% of our clients currently are veterans. The other 50% are civilians. And we decided very early on in the very beginnings of our organization that if we were going to be inclusive to all peoples with a disability, that your veteran or civilian status was not going to play a part in that. We were here to serve a community.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're finding is that by virtue of participation in our programs, we are creating these communities as well. You
Sure.
have cohorts and groups of classes who get to know each other and do things together. They watch each other's dogs. We have a outdoor dock diving pool at our facility, and we have pool parties. We also with the puppies. It's just it creates this amazing community because you're
Yeah.
working so closely
Yeah.
together for a year or more at a
Right.
time.
Right.
I also want to say we do serve children. So if you're an individual who has a child with a disability, we can typically help serve that community as well. Having been the mama of a
Yeah.
little guy who needed a service dog, we are removing those barriers
Mm-hmm.
and finding ways to make that be a successful partnership for our kiddos in our community.
So, what would be an example of a family who has a child with a disability? And I'm sure the range is wide. So, um, age-wise,
Mhm.
how would that family become part of your programs?
You apply.
Okay.
You go to our website, you put in an inquiry.
Yeah.
Um, our program coordinator takes a look at it, reaches out, and then there's a phone call just to talk, get to know each other a little bit better. I want to call people into the conversation who want to be, and if we're not the right fit for you, we're going to give you the names of some other
Okay.
organizations that might be. For
Yeah.
example, we don't do guide work. That's very specific.
Right.
And we don't do hearing dog
Mm-hmm.
work
Yeah.
because that's also very specific. And there's
Yeah.
another lovely organization here in Colorado that serves that community as well. So we do just about everything else. We can help out kiddos on the autism spectrum. We can help out kiddos who have, I think it's a rare disease. I'd have to pull it up, but several of our clients have some fairly rare diseases which impact some of their neurology. It
Mm-hmm.
may also impact some of their mobility. So, intellectual disabilities and other neurocognitive concerns is
Mm-hmm.
something that we can usually help and assist with.
Mm-hmm.
We also can assist people who have some psychological concerns as well,
Mm-hmm.
mobility issues. and challenges and limitations there, we can help, and we can do some medical detection if
Mm,
it's something that we can detect within the saliva or spit.
okay.
Now,
Yep.
there's a caveat to that as well. um, we believe firmly that the dog should be an additional adjunct to your own care. So if you are an individual, say, who is a diabetic, we do require you to have other monitoring means,
Oh,
and that the
yeah.
dog just supports that because these
Right.
are animals.
Yeah.
They might make a mistake at some point, and
Yeah.
they're animals. Yes, they can do amazing things. Yes, they are life-changing. They heal hearts and souls every single day, but they should not be your one and only intervention in your life.
There was a gal I was familiar with who brought her dog to a workout facility, and she does have monitors for indicating there's an issue. I don't even remember what it was, but she said so often her dog will become aware of it before her monitors do.
We hear
And
that a lot. Yeah.
the monitor would prevent, you know, whatever it was from happening, but the dog catches it even earlier. That's amazing to me.
They're little miracle workers on four legs. They truly are. And that's what I like to tell people is it's easy to think that in the very beginning we're a dog or an animal organization, but truly we're a people
You
organization.
are.
But that we get to do it with the dogs is the true gift
Yeah,
for us
right.
and the work that we do.
Wow. So if someone has an autistic child and the child is 4 or 5, how would the parents think about the opportunity or option to have a dog in the house alongside their autistic child? What kind of a thought process would a, a set of parents go through? Because I know several families who are raising autistic children. I'm just curious if they just don't know something like this exists, or it's fearful for them, or they would die to know that something like this was available. I'm sure it's everything, but what
Yeah,
is
I
it
would
like?
venture, I would absolutely venture to say that all of those things can exist in the same space.
Okay,
A
yeah.
100%. So, first of all, knowing where to go for your resources. When you first receive a diagnosis that your child is on the autism spectrum, it's incredibly overwhelming. And knowing where to go to get these resources can just really shut you down because there are so many available. That just takes some time and contact with a community who will help put you in touch with those resources. So, yes, they may not know that people like us exist or
Hmm.
that there are service dog organizations across the United States who serve the population of individuals with autism free of charge, same just like us, a
Really?
nonprofit who's doing this wonderful work across the United States. Then they may also think, oh gosh, maybe my kiddo is level 3 autism and perhaps there's nothing a dog could do for them. Or, my kid's okay, they're a level 1, they might not need a whole lot. And I would venture to say, let's chat about that because you have to take a look at the individual. What does that child need?
Mm.
Would they benefit from the social bridge that a dog can provide?
Mm.
Would they benefit from perhaps proprioceptive input or weighted pressure that a dog could provide? Is there a stimming behavior or a self-injurious behavior that the dog could interrupt to help the child?
Mm.
And is going on with the kiddo that just the grounding presence of having a dog would be remarkable?
Hmm.
I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
My little guy was a runner. He was a darter. And we could not even go through the Home Depot parking lot without like having him clinched to us because we knew he would just like shoot out in front of a car at some point. When we got his first service dog, just by virtue of him being able to hold on to the handle of the back of that dog on
Mm.
his vest,
Yeah,
grounded him immediately, and that stopped.
really.
Just being able to hold on to that vest, now not tethered to the animal, that's a huge responsibility and something you don't want to place on an animal. But just by being connected to that animal, he didn't do that. Now, me or my husband were the what is called the third party handler.
Okay.
We were the handlers of the dog because we were the responsible adults who had the responsibility of being able to handle an animal. But my son could hold on to the harness of the dog and stay right with us as a family. It
Wow.
was a miracle to watch.
Oh,
Watching the magic happen every day is such a gift for us as trainers and an organization in general.
you mentioned first service dog for your son.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hmm.
tell me a little bit about that transition or what happens.
Yeah. So sadly and unfortunately, I'm gonna try to keep my voice together here. Because it's sad. um, Disco, unfortunately, just before his sixth birthday, was diagnosed with a very aggressive T cell lymphoma cancer.
Oh,
And our son was about 10 years old when Disco died and he passed.
oh,
And that was heartbreaking to tell your 10-year-old that the one and only living thing he's ever really been able to connect with wasn't going to be there anymore. And that was heartbreaking um, for him, especially.
mhm.
He still keeps, he's 18 now, and he still keeps a picture of that dog in his room.
Yeah.
But he has a successor dog now, and
Okay.
his name is Race. My
Okay.
son is a cyclist,
Really?
and so he named his dog Race, and Race is coming up on 9 years old now.
Oh my
But
gosh.
because of the combined efforts of Disco and Race, my 18-year-old son on the spectrum, who we didn't know what his future would look like, has now been able to go to college 4 hours away from home without his dog.
No.
It's amazing. Yes, it's such a testament to the types of social skills and confidence and skill building that just having those dogs there for him helped facilitate. Now, I can't say that that's going to happen for every family or
Right.
every child because
Right.
every person and every dog are their own story,
They are.
but this is ours.
Wow. So his dog stays home with you then when he's at
His
college.
dog is here. He's right here on his bed sleeping, enjoying not having to work. I have to say, he is a little bit of a lazy Labrador these days, but I feel like he's earned it.
Wow. So then when your son comes home, like on a
Hmm.
weekend, I can't imagine what that's like for both of
He,
them.
yeah, he just came home for fall break last
Oh,
week for
okay.
a few days,
Mm-hmm.
and they were adorable. That
Oh,
dog was so happy to see him, followed him everywhere, and was perfectly content just to hop right back into their schedule of sleeping in bed with him and following him around and being at his feet if he played a video game. And it was just as if no time had passed, and he'd been gone for a good 8 weeks.
oh, wow. That is amazing. That is an amazing story. And you actually lived it and you're the testimony to it. And so you got a story to share there. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really truly life-changing. And I would say that every single one of our students has an equally beautiful story that tells of how they're able to do more with their lives, how having their service dog in their lives just rebuilds their independence,
Hmm.
their own resiliency, their own confidence. Individuals who perhaps who utilize a wheelchair
Hmm.
most of the day, they now, with their dog, being able to retrieve their cell phone if they drop it, reposition their legs on
Mm.
their wheelchair if it happens to fall off, or the veteran who's able now to walk up a set of stairs because that veteran served our country and jumped out of 25,000 too many helicopters. And now his dog can hold him steady and propel him forward on a set of stairs so that he can be more independent
Right.
and walk. Not only that, the individual who might experience some extreme anxiety, in public spaces and knowing that their dog is there to help create some space, or if they say, I need to get out of here, the dog can lead them out of the busy area. We have one veteran right now whose daughter does a lot of things with school, and he was really missing out on her activities. But because of his service dog, he can now go and participate more in public with his kiddo, with his community, with his family.
Wow.
So it's not just him who's benefiting, it's his whole family who's benefiting just from having that extra component of a very, very special service dog in their life.
Now, if the family with the child with the dog wants to go, on an airplane for a vacation, are there accommodations?
100%. You are. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, one of the things that we do in our training classes with our students, and we start off at a smaller airport, is we do outings. And we connect with TSA Cares, which is a program of TSA that if you're an individual with a disability, you can reach out to them and they will help escort you with assistance through TSA.
Okay.
We connect with them so that our students understand what that service is, connect them to that program, connect them to the sunflower programs at the airports also. And then we take them through TSA security. So the first time they're going through that very stressful event,
Right.
they've got not only the support of us as their trainers, but they've also got the support of their fellow classmates as they're going through it.
Wow.
So we start out at the Colorado Springs Airport when
Okay.
they're in Puppy Academy. And then by the time we reach Bridge Academy, we do a great big DIA outing. And we're very thankful for our partners at United Airlines who give us boarding passes so that we can go into the gates. We don't get on an airplane.
Right.
That we can kind of mimic at our training center what an airplane looks like, and curling up in the seat in front of you. And we talk a lot about how to navigate that, but we navigate it with them.
Yeah. Wow.
So yes, by virtue of being an individual with a disability, the Americans with Disabilities Act does allow you to take your dog into public places, and the FAA also has some regulations relating to that. You can no longer take an emotional support peacock on an airplane, but you can take an assistance dog, a task-trained service dog with you.
I wanted to go back to something you said earlier where in 2025 so far you've gotten 150 applications. So I'm sure that not all of those that you go through and have conversations with are a good fit, but those that are, can they all be accommodated through your programs in 1 year? Or do they have to sort of portion out into the various different ones you offer in order to, become part of the program?
Yeah, you really, you touched on all the different variables, and you're spot on. There's so many different variables as it plays into it. Sometimes it is a person who owns a dog and wants to join our Bridge Academy program.
Sure.
I would say that's a much smaller percentage than our Puppy Academy program.
Okay.
And we would love to say yes, because out of the over 150 people that have reached out to us, I would say 80% of them could be served by us if we had the resources to do it.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
So resources boil down to two different things.
Okay.
Three different things, actually. One would be volunteers who could help us raise puppies.
Right.
Two, or even whelping partners who would be willing to whelp and socialize litters for us so that we can place those puppies with the clients who might be raising them to be their service dog. And then just the funding. I have 3 fabulous trainers who are super wonderful, but they can't work full time with our current resources. And with additional financial resources, we could absolutely scale to serve all of those people.
Oh, okay. Well,
and we could probably do it within 2 years.
That's a really important need to share.
It is. It is. And they're they're fabulous, fabulous trainers. There's so many wonderful, talented trainers out there who love the work that we do.
For sure.
But again, they also have bills to pay.
They do.
And they deserve to be compensated for their expertise and time.
So I know people can go to your website, which is sunriseservicedogs.org. If they want to like more hands-on experience to watch or see or talk with you, or what are some other opportunities for people to get more than just what's on the website?
Yeah, because there's a lot that isn't on the website, right?
Yeah, it
Well,
sounds
first of
like
all,
it.
you should mark your calendars for April 18th, 2026 at Phil Long Music Hall. We have our yearly gala. It's called Raise the Wolf Shindig. This year, we are going to have an 80s theme. And Sofa Killers they're already practicing their set lists, are going to entertain us. And it's a really great opportunity to connect with other people, see the work we do. Our students with their dogs attend. It's great to connect with them. You get to say hi to their dogs. We usually say, please only love the service dogs with your eyes. But at this
Mhm.
event, we do encourage saying hello with your hands to the service
Wow.
dogs. It's a
Mm-hmm.
great socialization opportunity, but
Mm-hmm.
it also helps say thank you to all the
Mm-hmm.
people who are funding our mission and helping us accomplish these very lofty goals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such fun.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to maybe observe one of our classes, or if you wanted to reach out about other ways that you can get involved, just give us a call,
Okay.
719-357-9722, or send us an email at info@sunriseservicedogs.org.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Fabulous.
classes 3 Saturdays a month.
I know. I was going to say, and you said you're in the Springs, so is there a particular place in the Springs where these people gather 3 Saturdays a month?
Yes, yes, we do. I
Okay.
would ask, however, that if you wanted to just observe, please give us a heads up. We
Yeah,
do want to make sure that we are protecting the safety and space
right.
of all of our students who are there training with us. So we
Yeah,
do like to ask permission in
right.
advance
For
of
sure.
any special visits.
Yeah,
We want to
that
make
makes
sure
sense.
that everybody's in the right space at the right time for the right reasons.
Oh man, you sure
And
do.
we certainly, really believe in positive intent. We just want to dot our I's and cross our T's on that
You
to
better. Yep.
continue to protect and shield our students in training. So just a heads up on that.
That's
But
great. That's great to know. I mean,
we,
that's really important because
it
you don't
is.
want the chaos that could ensue should something go awry with some unintentional something or other that a visitor might do. And yeah, I totally get that.
And we have to
Totally.
arrange for an escort because we want to make sure that our trainers have the ability to focus on the task at hand, which is helping these individuals train their dog to be their service dog. So there's some arrangements that
Sure.
can be made to
That's good.
accommodate that
Yeah.
if and when it's appropriate.
Wow.
Um, your other question, I want to make sure I was asking that one, which
Uh,
was, remind me again what your question was.
well, let's see. I think you started by telling me about the gala and the
Yep.
fundraising.
Getting
Uh,
involved in the gala. If you are somebody who loves to whelp and rear puppies, we would love for you to help us out in that regard. We do have our own Labrador retrievers in our program that we breed specifically for this, and we have a very specific socialization protocol for our dogs, future service dogs. Our socialization begins 24 hours after birth.
wow.
So it's pretty involved
Mm-hmm.
because we're trying to set up puppies for success.
You
And
are.
Labrador retrievers receive 50% of their foundational socialization within the first 7 weeks of their life. It's very important. It's really why we're here. We're trying to make the lives of the individuals that we're serving better and easier. And so we start very small. But
Yeah.
you asked about where we train. So
You
a
don't have
little
to give it
story.
away if you don't
No,
want
it's
to,
okay.
the
No, it's fine.
location.
We are so proud of our foundations and where we come from. I am so happy to share this with you. Our founders are Colton and Heather Johnson, who, as a family, in the dog fancy and dog industry for decades in
Mm.
Colorado. They're Colorado Springs natives. They have lived there for ages and raised their families there, and they themselves have experienced success within the dog fancy, even in so much as winning Westminster Kennel Club with one of their old English sheepdogs. They've been named as a family Breeders of the Year more than once. They are wonderful people who live and breathe and walk dogs all day long, every day of their life. And they believed firmly that, and they believe very firmly as a family that if you are given blessings and privilege, that you should find a way to give back to your community. And what better way for them than with dogs?
Mm-hmm.
So they are the ones who founded Sunrise Service Dogs. And
What?
they own Under the Sun Dog Training and Doggy Daycare in Colorado Springs. They're just off of I-25 in Woodman. And they
Oh,
allow us the space to train and operate out of their facility. So they are some amazing people. And
wow.
they're out there just with the rest of us, cleaning up the poop in the kennels. And
Mm-hmm.
they're also the ones with a microphone in their hand at the event. You'll never meet nicer people.
Wow. Oh my God. Oh, I'm glad you could share that. Thank you. That really warms my heart. And it's such
We're
a,
very proud of our beginnings.
I mean, I think that to be blessed and share the blessing, there's nothing greater in life. And
They agree.
look at how many lives are changed because of their hearts and willingness to give back. I mean,
It was a brave endeavor,
I
truly,
can't
to start
imagine.
something like this. And I'm sure
Right.
that it was, you know, a fearful time as they were considering doing it, but I'm
Right.
so glad that they set
Yeah.
that aside and
Yeah.
put forth the effort to make it happen, because what they're doing and what they've been able to ignite in the
Yeah.
community has just been astounding.
That's
Very proud.
amazing. Yeah. Well, when we share the blessing, it touches way more lives than what we could do on our own. So that's what's happening in
One
their
drop.
lives. Yep, that's right. Wow, I could just keep talking. This is so fascinating. There's so much to learn, and I love everything you've shared with us. So many life lessons and helping people. And thank you so much for what you're doing, Laura. And I hope that you can just continue to be fruitful and multiply the blessings to as many, people who need these dogs as do.
I appreciate the opportunity to share our story and
Yeah.
talk a little bit about our work so much. I appreciate that. And I
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you in April.
Yeah, that would be great. I will definitely put that on the
Very fun.
calendar and look into it. Yeah, thank you. All right, I'm excited. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks so much, Judy.
Thanks so much for joining us for the Inspired Impact podcast. To listen to past episodes, please visit theinspiredimpactpodcast.com.